I asked you guys on Instagram, what questions do you have about the silver bottle cap? And you guys asked a ton of questions, so we're gonna answer them today and go over that because you have to make a decision by Sunday. Today we're covering it all, everything you need to know about the silver bottle cap, from what it is, how to find silver bottle cap Pokemon, what to use it on, should you use it on a 98, and when are we gonna be getting the next one? So let's just go into it. So the silver bottle cap came out with the Wild Area Global event with that premium deluxe pass. If you didn't get that deluxe pass, you probably didn't get the silver bottle cap. If you did get that deluxe pass, you have until Sunday to use it. Now, this is our second cap that we have gotten. We've gotten a golden cap before, but this is a silver cap. So a silver bottle cap is a little bit different than a golden cap. A silver cap, you can only raise the stats of either attack, defense, or HP. Not all of them, you have to choose one. Now, this is a little different than the golden cap. The golden cap, you could train attack, defense, and HP, so bringing anything from a nundo to a hundo. But a silver cap, you are not going to be able to do that. And it actually is a little bit harder to find this silver cap Pokemon, right? Because you're looking for something that is a 15 something 15, 15 15 something, or something 15 15. That is really what you are looking for a silver bottle cap. So knowing that we are looking for something 15 15, whatever that combination is, how do you actually find that in Pokemon Go? Well, you could look for your 98s if you have those saved, but there are some other ones that you can also do. And there's this really handy search string. I have it saved as silver bottle cap, so I'm gonna put that in the comments. So if you wanna see that, go to the comments and you can copy it from there. With this search string, you're gonna see a bunch of Pokemon that you've caught all the way in the past to just today. So with this search string, you're probably gonna add a couple more things to it. You might wanna add and shiny, or you could add and legendary or and mythical. It's really up to you on how you want to search this. So we're gonna talk about that next, is what should you be focusing on? And that's gonna help you decide what to add on top of the search string. So the search string is just a great first look, but I would definitely add either and shiny or and mythical or and legendary, or a mix of and shiny comma mythical and shiny comma legendary if you wanna work on a legendary or a mythical. Now, since the golden cap has come out, there's been so many discussions about what you should use your cap on. Now, this is a game, so it's really not what you should use your cap on, it's what you want to use your cap on. But if you are looking for some suggestions, hopefully this will help you, but really at the end of the day, you should do what makes you happy, not what someone else tells you. And if anyone is telling you that you made a wrong decision, point them back to this video and we can have a discussion about that. Now, my personal preference is, because this is such an expensive item, I want it to be worth my cost. Right? So when I'm thinking about this, what are Pokemon that are extremely rare, but also useful? I like raiding more than PvP, so for me, I'm looking for a PvE Pokemon. So for that, we're either looking at meta-relevant legendaries or we're looking at mythicals. Now for me, mythicals are the Pokemon to bottle cap. You only get one of them, maybe two if you end up paying for the shiny, but mythicals to me are some of the best use cases for these. Now, if you don't personally care about mythicals, you don't really have a favorite, you're not planning on powering them up, maybe you skip out on that. I think one of my personal goals in the game is to bring every shiny mythical up to level 50. So I have a bunch of level 50 shiny mythicals and I'm slowly working on bottle capping them. And I actually only have one silver cappable mythical, and that is Shaymin. Now Shaymin's my favorite, and I did not golden cap that because I didn't think it was worth it, right? It was a 98, it was a 15, 11, 15. It was just too good because I've had some really bad 2-star shiny mythicals. So I ended up golden bottle capping a 2-star shiny mythical of my Celebi. And it ended up kind of working out now, because now I only have this one silver capped mythical that I'm doing. It's Shaymin, it's my favorite. So that's kind of why I decide mythicals are the best for this, and something that you guys should definitely consider. I would definitely say some top mythicals are Mew, Meloetta, Keldeo, but we are going to be getting the shiny Keldeo pretty soon, so you might want to hold off on that because you might end up getting a better one. Oh, and Diancie is phenomenal as well, but I think we're going to be getting that shiny, so I'm also going to hold out for that one too. Now, I brought this up a little bit earlier, but mythicals are really difficult to power up. So if you are someone who, if you're gonna have a Shundo, you wanna bring that up to level 50 and it's gonna bother you that it's gonna take a really long time to get the candy for your mythical, maybe skip out on this one. I could see some people being really motivated, like, yeah, I'm gonna get this up to level 50. I could see some people getting really irritated with that. So it's really up to you, and that's kind of like maybe a con of the mythicals, is that it's so difficult to get candy for since you only get one, but I kind of like having fun with it. I like bringing mine up to level 50, but it is definitely a challenge. Now, when it comes to legendaries, we're gonna break this down into two sections: one-time legendaries and meta-relevant legendaries. So first, let's talk about these one-time legendaries. A lot of people, and for very good reason, use their bottle cap on Pokemon like Zygarde, Zarude, Eternatus, these legendaries that we can only get like one of. I feel like Zygarde is a very, very good option, especially if you've taken the time to bring it up all the way to the full form. Now we might get the shiny. I'm not really convinced that we're going to be getting the shiny this year. So for me, I still think I would bottle cap a Zygarde if that was a lower option of mine. But Zygarde is a really good choice. Eternatus, I would have silver bottle capped Eternatus, but mine's not silver cappable, so I'm not going to do that, obviously. But I think those are some really good options. And like I said, there's a really good reason that you only get one. To me, the one-time legendaries and the one-time mythicals, they're very similar, and they should be kind of be treated the same. So you might like the legendaries, like the one-time legendaries like Zygarde. I think Zygarde's very strong. I aesthetically do not like it that much. So for me, I like to bottle cap my mythicals, like especially my like the cutesy ones. So I'm gonna bottle cap my cutesy ones because that's what I prefer. But it's very similar to being like, I want the Zygarde. To me, the mythicals and the one-time legendaries are very, very similar. So I think those are kind of the top choices that I would do if you have one. Now, it's very hard to have a silver cappable of these one-time legendaries or mythicals though. So you might not have one, so you can always save this video for later for when we get like the golden cap too, because I feel like all of this applies even for like the golden cap. Now next up are legendary Pokemon, and not specifically any legendary, I would say meta-relevant legendaries, right? So we're talking about Zacian, Zamazenta, Necrozma, Rayquaza, Palkia, Dialga. I think those are some of the most popular and most common bottle caps that people are doing, and a lot of people were asking, should I do Palkia, should I do Dialga? Mewtwo's another one in there, especially I've been seeing a lot of armored Mewtwo. So for the people who have armored Mewtwo, if you want to bottle cap that, go ahead and do that. It's really up to you. It's super, super rare, so there is a little bit of that it's really rare. Getting a hundo, that's really cool. But just knowing that Mewtwo will probably be coming out for the Kalos Tour, you're gonna be able to rate it, hopefully get like a Shundo. I might hold off on doing the Armor Mewtwo, even though I know it's technically like different stats, but still, I might hold off on Mewtwo just because we are gonna be getting that pretty soon is my prediction. And just to remind you guys, you cannot bottle cap shadow Pokemon. So if you do, you have to purify them and then bottle cap it. I don't think I would do that though, personally. Now, one of the biggest issues with bottle capping a legendary is that you do have the option to raid for them and trade, and you could up getting a Shundo or a Hundo that way. I actually wanted to bottle cap my shiny Zacian, and I ended up getting a Shundo, so I didn't have to bottle cap it, but yeah, you might have that happen to you, so just be careful that you might end up getting a duplicate. I always feel like it works that way. As soon as like you bottle cap something, you're gonna get like a Shundo of it, or as soon as you put that out in the universe. So just be a little careful with that because you can raid and trade. And that's also why maybe stay away from Mewtwo, because we are gonna be seeing Mewtwo. If you're planning to raid that a lot, maybe hold off. Or if you just want to go ahead and prepare and go ahead and have a Shundo or a Hundo of a Mewtwo for when the Mega comes out, you could also do that as well. And we're definitely going to talk about this in more detail later, but going back to the 98 shinies, I definitely think when it comes to a legendary, I might hold off on bottle capping a 98 legendary shiny. I think it's much better use of the bottle cap, especially for the cost, to do something like a 91 shiny, something like that. That's what I would personally do if I were going to choose a legendary shiny for this. But again, it's up to you. It's a lot easier just to increase the stat of one stat alone. So if you have like a 98, it's gonna be a lot easier to bottle cap. So if you also want this faster, a 98 could be a better option for you. Oh, and another thing to remind you is anytime you do a mythical or a legendary, if you are working on that last stat of HP, you're gonna be walking a ton with it. Now, if you're leveling up, you're gonna be walking a ton anyways to do like your 200, 300, 400 kilometers. But if you're not wanting to walk with your buddy and get like a ton of candy with it, because it's 20 kilometers just for one candy, now you can do the Poffin trick and get that done a little bit faster, but still it's a lot of walking. So be careful if there are two options of the same Pokemon to maybe do attack or defense rather than HP. That's just my personal opinion. Someone told me in an earlier video, defense is the worst. I am not really worried by a 15-day time lock. It's kind of fine. I'm not trying to get this done like ASAP. I would much rather have 15-day time lock than walk with my bottle cap for, I don't know, like a ton of kilometers. Now, outside of legendaries and mythicals, there's some other really good meta-relevant Pokemon. Think about like Annihilate, Goodra, Gyarados, some of the evolutions. Any of those top meta-relevant, kind of like pseudo-legendary, so any dragons, those would be really, really good silver bottle caps as well, especially if like any of those are your favorite. Like if you love the evolutions and you want like a Shundo Sylveon, that's a really good one to do. Or if you like love Goodra and its evolution, do that. Florges is another great option. So depending on if you're doing like PvP Master League, some of those could be really good. If you're doing PvE, some of those are good as well. Sometimes I think when it comes outside of the legendaries and mythicals, choosing some of these like meta-relevant non-legendaries like pseudo-legendaries can be really fun and a little bit more personable, especially because they're typically people's favorite Pokemon. Then there are a lot of people online who end up choosing some really rare Pokemon to bottle cap. I'm not saying this is a wrong thing. Again, this is a game, so it's up to you. I just personally wouldn't. So think about like a costume Pokemon, especially like a Pikachu that can evolve. A lot of people will end up bottle capping, like using their golden or silver for like a costume shiny. I think it's really cool having a costume Shundo. But for me, the cost of the bottle cap is way too high to use it on something like that. Like I want it to be a Pokemon that I'm either going to use in rocket battles or I'm going to be raiding with. So for me, I just don't really always see that I'm going to end up using like a costume Krogunk all the time, even though it's a really cool costume. If I had that as a Shundo, that would be really cool. But I almost would rather get that during the event than bottle cap it myself. But that is another good choice of that, especially if you love the costumes and there's a costume that is like your #1 absolute favorite. I think that's a really good option, honestly. And to go with that a little bit is just choose your favorite Pokemon. So if your favorite Pokemon is Delphox, go ahead and do it. Bring up a Delphox. It is up to you. If you love the unknowns, if you love Electabuzz, Nosepass, Frillish, like there are so many good shinies or just good Pokemon. So whatever you really like at the end of the day is what you should choose. And if you are using the search string, and let's say I don't know, you want to do like shiny and legendary, right? So we're gonna do and shiny, comma, legendary. And you're like, well, I have a Zacian I could do, and that's like a top choice. And I have a Rayquaza I could do. Well, that's another top choice. But I have this Xerneas, and I love Xerneas. I think it's one of my favorites, but it's not what everyone else is choosing. I would go for the Xerneas. Like, that's what I've been telling people in our community. We have a lot of Patreon members in the Discord asking, like, well, I have these options. And I'm like, okay, well, what is your favorite option? Because I think that matters more than like, well, everyone's doing Rayquaza, I should do Rayquaza. Well, if Rayquaza is not your favorite, do the Xerneas, or if Latios Latias are your favorite, do those, right? So it's like you might have some of those like super, super meta-relevant, strong legendary Pokemon, but if it's like Xerneas is your favorite, go ahead and do Xerneas, right? It's really up to you. So that's kind of how I would look at it that way as well. So I've talked about this a couple times in the video, and I feel like I might have answered it, but really I want to have a whole discussion about this is like, should you use this on a 98? Like I said, it's a little bit easier. Bringing up one stat is super, super easy compared to all the tasks. So if you just want to get it over and done with, sure. But for me, when it comes to cost, I just feel like the cap is too expensive to buy to raise up one stat. Now, if you have your absolute favorite Pokemon and it's a 98 and you want to use that, go ahead and do that. But like I said, for me, I feel like a 98 is good enough. I power up my 98 shiny, like legendaries and stuff like that. So for me, if it's probably not one that I'm going to bottle cap, but again, it's a good choice for some people if that's what you want to do. But like I said, I feel like it's too expensive. I would want to use it on something like a 91 or worse, honestly. I feel like once you're starting to get up to like 96, 98, that's almost like too good to bottle cap. I also say this as someone who streams the game and has played like every single day, multiple hours for many years now, that I have a lot of like shiny mythical, or I have a lot of shiny 98 legendaries, but you might not. So don't let that deter you. If you have 3 silver bottle capable legendaries and the one that's your favorite is a 98 and you're like, well, Bernie said not to do this, don't listen to me then, right? Like do again what your favorite is, especially if you feel like you're disappointed. Like if you're like, oh man, I'm kind of upset with this information, go and don't listen to me and do what you want to do, if that makes sense. So if you're upset, like, oh, I kind of wish that they had said to bottle cap my Xerneas, well, if you feel like that, then that's really your answer. So I feel like also along the way, as anything I say, if you have that gut feeling that you're like, oh, I kind of wish she hadn't said that because that goes against like what I was thinking, then what you're thinking is still what you should choose. And that's kind of how I would see this, is like, don't let anyone tell you how to bottle cap or what to bottle cap, because it's way too personal. Now, my first bottle cap, I'm not saying that I regret it, but I kind of regretted it, but only because I should have done something a little bit sillier. Like I personally it was either between my Celebi or a Clamperl, and I would have brought the Clamperl all the way up to a Shundo and then evolved it to see if it was Gorbis or Huntail, and I think that would have been really fun. I kind of wish I had done that. Now I like my Celebi, it's very, very special to me, and I am choosing a mythical. We'll talk at the end what I chose and why, but to me, it was sort of one of those things that as I was bottle capping, I'm like, oh, I'm kind of annoyed with this as my buddy. It's already level 50. It's already best buddy. I would rather have done something different. So also think about that. Is this something you want to have as your buddy for forever? Is this something that you care about powering up? Have you already powered it up? Is it already best buddy? So all of those things kind of play a role into that decision that you make. Now your choice might also depend on if we're planning on getting another one anytime soon. We obviously have no idea. Now we did get one for Go Fest Max Finale, and we got one for Wild Area. So if I had to predict, and if you had to ask me right now, I would say it would be during the larger events. So we're thinking Go Tour, Go Fest, Wild Area. That's kind of what I'm thinking in terms of like when we're gonna get these, so during really big events. So we might be getting another one in February if that is the case. And it'll probably be a golden cap. Yeah, I'm gonna say it might be a golden cap. We might get like 2 golden caps and like 1 silver. There was a discussion earlier today on the Instagram too. Could we get like one that literally increases like 1 stat, almost like a bronze, bottle cap that like powers up like a 98, right? So maybe something like that. So I am thinking we're gonna see another cap in February. If it's golden, again, my criteria for golden is a little bit different because you have that 0 to a hundo that you can work on. So I'm gonna probably choose like Diancie, Keldeo, Jirachi, some of the mythicals that aren't silver capable for me. So that could also impact your decision if we are going to be getting another one in February. You might not have, it might not feel so important to make this dire decision right now. You can kind of pick something more fun, something else, knowing that we'll probably get one later down the road as well. I have decided to silver bottle cap my shiny Shaymin. Shaymin is my favorite mythical. It is already level 50 and it is already best buddy. I didn't golden cap it because it was a 91, so it was a 15, 11, 15. It is my only silver capable mythical. So for me, I decided not to golden cap it because I thought it was too good, because it is. It was too good to golden cap. It wasn't like a 2-star mythical, but it's not too good for a silver bottle cap. And again, it's my only silver cap mythical, shiny mythical that is. I might have like a different mythical, but shiny mythical is my only silver cap shiny mythical. So for me, it was really easy. I was like, I'm going to start going with the mythical route. I think this might solidify that I'm going to bottle cap all my mythicals because again, I've made that my challenge to start level 50ing all my shiny mythicals that I'm getting and start level 40ing all my non-shinies. Unless it's a hundo, if I end up getting like a hundo, of course we'll bring that up to level 50. Like I've already started putting candy into Keldeo, so when we get that shiny, I'm gonna bring that up to level 50. I started putting candy into my Diancie, so when we get shiny Diancie, I'll bring that up to level 50. So depending on what the next bottle cap is, and depending on when we get, like whenever we get that Keldeo masterwork done, if we get shiny Diancie, I'll probably decide between those two. Now I have been thinking about also Eternatus. Eternatus is really, really strong, really powerful. I use it actually a lot. So Eternatus could be there since it is like that one-time legendary, but we'll have to see kind of how I feel once we get there. But yeah, that's kind of why I chose Shaymin. It's my favorite. I love it. It's cute. It has little flowers when it walks, so it's a good buddy to have as well. And it's really not that hard to work on that defense other than being 15-day time locked. Now, I think one of the things now that we're seeing a golden cap and a silver cap, could we see something like a bronze cap? Who knows? But I think what really helps me start making these decisions like in the future now though, is seeing like what are potential silver caps, specifically with those legendaries I mentioned like Keldeo and Diancie. If Keldeo's a silver cap, then I'm gonna wait till we get the next silver cap. But if it's not, maybe that's when I golden cap. If my Diancie and Keldeo are the same, either silver or golden, that's where I guess I'm gonna have to figure out what I do. But I think it does help me kind of figure out like, oh, like now as I play the game, I'd be like, oh, is this silver capable? Is it not? Especially like as Cream and I do trades. Now we're like, oh, if we do like a lucky trade and we get like a silver cap Pokemon, that's a little bit more reason to keep like a lucky of a trade of something like that. Because before we just trash it, to be honest with you. If it was like a 91 shiny legendary that we traded, we wouldn't keep it, but now we actually might, since we can like silver cap it. So it does kind of change a little bit of our trading strategy and how we're playing the game, because I don't want to say I've gotten rid of a lot of silver cap Pokemon, but I feel like I have. I feel like I've traded them to Cream, especially if I'm like, oh, I have a 98 shiny of that. Of course, I'll give you the 91. But now I'm like, oh, I could have silver cap the 91, traded the 98, because like I said, it's not worth using a cap on a 98, but it would be worth it on a 91. But oh well, like now we can play the game a little bit differently now that we know how the caps really work, and hopefully we start seeing more and a little bit more of a cadence. So on the Instagram post, I did see a couple people asking some like, hey, what about this Pokemon? So I just kind of want to go over my thoughts about that. So a lot of people ask like, shiny Dialga, origin form Dialga. My question back is, does it have Roar of Time? Same with Palkia, origin form Palkia. Does it have Spatial Rend? If it does on either of those, then yes, I would bottle cap them. Things like Rayquaza. Rayquaza is super strong. I would definitely do it on Rayquaza. Eternatus is good. Mewtwo is good. I feel like those are the ones that I'm seeing the most. Palkia, Dialga, origin form, Mewtwo, Rayquaza, Eternatus. So I feel like between any of those, again, really do like what your favorite is. I think if I had to pick between any of those, I think I would probably do Palkia. I find Spatial Rend a lot better. I use it more. I find I use just Palkia in general more than Dialga. But then also like when you put Eternatus into the picture, if I had a silver capable Eternatus, I think I might have chose Eternatus as well. So if you do have a silver capable Eternatus and you're trying to power that up, or you have, I would probably choose that as well. But I think really any of those choices are good. I would definitely add Zacian and Zamazenta to the mix. I would add like the Curums to those as well. Those would be some other ones that I would use. But then also, like I said, maybe some like more fun meta-relevant Pokemon as well. Necrozma would be one that I would definitely choose as well, because the Necrozma fusions are crazy powerful. We're going to be getting Ultra Necrozma probably maybe in a couple of years. So just to kind of get prepared for that. So I think between those legendaries, any like the top legendaries, I would think are fair game and really good choices. But again, at the end of the day, it is your decision on what to bottle cap. So I want to hear from you guys. What are you planning to bottle cap? Or what outstanding questions do you have about the bottle caps? Let me know in the comments, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.
We want to give a huge thank you to our incredible Patreon supporters. Your support means everything to us and helps make content like this possible.
You're helping us take things to the next level. We couldn't do this without you.